Hello, and welcome to the Ask Arlene Show, the show where you get to ask the questions and I answer them. It's a pleasure to be with you again every Thursday evening at 6:30. I am Arlene, your host. I'm a life coach and a business consultant specializing in the area of peak performance and momentum. So, what does that mean? It means that I help you to move forward in that business, project, or endeavor. So, usually we talk about the book, The 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear and Getting Unstuck. And I'm all about you being the best version of yourself. But in case you have not watched any of our past shows and you're wondering, well, what makes you qualified, Arlene, to share this with us? Well, I want to let you know that for many years, I worked in corporate America in high level positions. I worked in political arenas, worked for the DNC. So I was one of those who was working on President Obama's campaign in the battleground state of Florida. I have several degrees, including a master's degree and several credits toward a doctoral degree. I've been president of several chambers of commerce, so I helped companies to move forward, to market themselves, to do better, to grow and expand. So today, I want to talk with you a little about how you can become an entrepreneur, how you can, if you're already an entrepreneur, how you can expand. So let's say you've always wanted to start a business, but you just haven't seemed to get started. Or you already have a business today and you want to 10x that business, take it to the next level, like I used to do with many companies in the Chamber of Commerce's that I was in charge of. Or let's say you're not in business at all, but you want to lose an extra 10 pounds and you need those skills and techniques to really move forward and just make it happen because you've been trying for so many years, but you just haven't seemed to do it. Or perhaps it's a financial thing and you just want to expand your dollars and cents and you know exactly what you need to do, but you just haven't seemed to get started. Well, you're in the right place today because I'm going to be talking about tools and techniques that people can use to move forward, get unstuck. But specifically today, we're going to be talking about some of the pitfalls of starting a business or entrepreneurship in general. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but the statistics say that 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 5 years. That means 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're out. Okay. Now, why is that? Why is it that most businesses fail within the first 5 years? Well, the truth is that a lot of people start a business expecting to blow up financially. I'm going to make a lot of money with immediately. And most businesses are not like that. Most businesses require time, energy, and effort. And that is the secret. One of the secrets of a successful business or a successful endeavor, whether it's trying to lose 10 pounds, whether it's writing that book that you've always wanted to write and you know how to do it, you know what you want to write about, but you just haven't done it. Well, it's this concept of persistence, continuing and never stopping, never giving up on your dream, your goal, or your vision. That's the difference between the 1% and the other 90%. Well, actually the 10% and the other 90%. The thing is that people don't give up. And if you don't give up and you just keep going, eventually you're going to make it. And or even if it's not in that same business, you're going to begin to see where you need to turn left, turn right, where you need to go. So I started a business, and one of the businesses that I like to talk about because it was one of the most fun was a networking business. So I started in a community where at first I really didn't know the people. I didn't know the powers that be, which is rule number 1 when you're starting a business. It's a good idea to go somewhere where people already know you and you already know the lay of the land. So you're already guaranteed almost to get customers. Okay, but I went somewhere where the powers that be didn't know me. And so I went to the local elected officials and they told me no. I went to the local business leaders and they told me it'll never work. I went to the ones that I thought would work with me, and they said to me, we've already tried that and it didn't work. But at the time, some will say it was brilliant of me to continue, but actually I just didn't know enough to quit. I didn't know that most people quit when people tell them no. I had done a lot of sales, and I just figured you keep going until you find someone that gives you a yes. So I continued and kept knocking on doors. And eventually I found some people who were willing to work with me. I found a gentleman who was going to help me with the grassroots aspect of it. So another aspect of this entrepreneurial journey is to not start out buying Mercedes Benzes and start out with a huge office, especially not these days when we're going through coronavirus or COVID-19. You want to start small and grow and expand. So within my story, let's get back to my story. So I hired a gentleman who was my marketing person, and he went around and he laid out flyers in residential neighborhoods. He laid out these business networking flyers to the business community. I sent out mailers. And the irony of it is that people started calling. And when they called, they weren't really calling to say, hey, this is great, we're going to come. They were calling and saying, how did you get these people as your guest speakers at your networking events? How did you get these people to come to you? As a matter of fact, people would come to my office and visit me and ask me, how did you get these people as speakers at your networking events? And guys, this is where tenacity and persistence pay off. So I didn't know at the time that there was a protocol and that I had to go on the agenda and the scheduling of these elected officials. I just went up to them and asked them, listen, can you come on Thursday, January 27th to my event? And I would make sure that I put myself in situations where I would be where they are. And so eventually, one day, the borough president, who had seen me a gazillion times and who had said, hi, Arlene, we were on a first name basis, said to me, what do you want? You're always in my face. You're always saying hi. You're always greeting me. And he realized he couldn't really place my business or what I was doing. So he was like, what do you want? So he was one of the first people that was an attendee at my networking event. And it ended up being a business networking event as well as a fundraiser for him. So we're talking a lot about persistence. And I'm saying, guys, it's an inside game. And I'm saying if you put your mind to it, if you put your focus on it, your heart in it, there's nothing that you cannot accomplish. Okay. So maybe it's not an event that you want to do. Maybe you have had in the back of your mind that you want to create something that you've never created before. Okay. You are an inventor. So I have a friend who also bootstrapped it. He cashed out all of his investments. He put all of his money into creating the prototype of this particular. I'm not going to tell you what it is because then you guys will know who I'm talking about because he has since blown up. But he created this thing that was in the back of his head. There was a problem. He saw the problem. He created the prototype with his own money. He didn't wait to borrow millions of dollars. He just created it with his own money, started out small, bootstrapped it. And then he literally walked around from place to place, to Home Depot, to Lowe's, to all of the local hardware stores, hawking and showing his product until eventually somebody said, okay, I'm willing to put your product in my store and see if it sells. And he had nothing to lose because all of his money had gone into the investment of the prototype, in which case, if they sold it in the store, it was pure profit. He didn't have a huge overhead where he had a warehouse with, hundreds of thousands of product. So the second secret then would be to make sure that you start small, guys. There's no shame in starting small. There's a gentleman on Shark Tank. His name is Mark Cuban. And he says, anybody who borrows money to start a business is stupid. Now, isn't that a concept? Everybody talks about borrow money so you can start this massive business. But he, who is one of the chief sharks, says, if you borrow money to start a business, you're stupid. Why? Because you don't know if the business is going to work or not. So how are you going to pay it back? But if you start small, you can always build if it works. And if it's not working, you can always change the direction. So you don't have to start a new business, but you can change the direction, see what's working and what marketing strategy is working for you and which marketing strategy is not. So we talked about perseverance. We talked about not starting out huge. And in terms of financial investment, number 3, I would recommend that you not borrow money. Don't borrow money. I would suggest, number 4, that you start the business where you are. So people say, quit your day job and start that business, start that dream, get going. I say, no, don't quit your day job because you need that money to fund the business. Okay. But I do say, keep your day job. When you finish work at 3, you finish work at 5, you finish work at 6, start on the dream, the vision, the plan, the thing that you're really on this earth to do. And don't waste time, guys, because tomorrow is not promised. There's a gentleman friend that I have, and he is now gone, but he was doing great things in the community. As a matter of fact, I have a friend who started a chamber. She was head of the chamber in Mount Vernon. And she was doing a great job. Her chamber was, larger than some of the other chambers, and now she's gone. But we remember her, even though she checked out, because she accomplished something while she was here, something that has a legacy. So guys, I'm recommending that you start today. You're watching this program for a reason. I'm spending this time with you for a reason. I've explained to you my background. I could be doing lots of other things right now, but due to COVID-19, we've all decided that we need to invest and share some of the knowledge that we have to help people move forward, get unstuck, and be the best versions of themselves. So if you haven't heard my story as to how I started, then you need to hear my story. All right, but today is the day. Tomorrow is not promised. So while you have your day job, you start your business. You sit down today, you write down exactly what it is that you'd like to do, what it is that you'd like to accomplish. And then you think of one step that you can do now to move forward. I don't care if it's running for office. I don't care if it's, like I said, it's an invention. There's something you can do today. There's another wise speaker that says decision, which comes from the Greek word kaidir, to cut, means that you are going to cut off all the other options and move forward today. So you're doing something today to signify that you have made this decision, okay? And then you're going to get online and you're going to tell me in the Ask Arlene Show on Facebook or on Instagram, or call us on the phone or email us and tell me exactly what it is that you're starting today. Or maybe you've already started, but tell me what it is that you're doing today that's going to move you forward in that business project or endeavor. Okay, so back to our list. How much time do we have before break? Break dance time. Okay. So we're going to break now, but I'm going to come back and give you several more tips, okay, about corporate filing, about the client process, and just about how to move forward, get unstuck, and be the best version of yourself. Okay, guys, see you in a bit. Hi, I'm Arlene, host of the television talk show Ask Arlene, which airs on Thursdays at 6:30. And as a business consultant and life coach, I help you to move forward in your business, project, or endeavor. So if you always wanted to write a book, but you just haven't seemed to get started, or you always wanted to 10x that business that you already have, expand it to the next level, you know exactly what you need to do, but you just haven't done it? Well, I've already purchased all the courses, read all the books, the Tony Robbins, all sorts. I have several degrees, including a master's degree and credits toward a doctorate. I've sat with and met celebrities and done the networking. And what I've realized is what I really needed was a mastermind group of people working toward my project, my business, or my endeavor. So what I've done is met with coaches and met with experts and put them together to work on your project. So join us today for our Mastermind networking group. I'll see you there. Click the link below
and join us.
Hi, and welcome back to the Ask Arlene Show. I am your host, Arlene, and what I'm talking to you about today are some myths that people have about entrepreneurship and things that you can do to ignore those myths because some of them are not true and they're preventing you from pursuing your dream. So maybe it's not entrepreneurship for you, it's writing that book, it's losing that extra 10 pounds, but the situation is that you need to follow your dream. Whatever your dream is, whatever is in your heart to do, you will be able to find a way to do it if you start today. So one of the key things that we talked about is starting now, deciding that whatever it is, you're going to do it and you're going to accomplish it, shutting off that chatter, that negative chatter that's saying, oh, well, I can't do it, or I could do it if. No. Regardless of whatever is going on, the storms, the floods, the drought, you can accomplish your goal because there are so many people who have had a dream and had a goal and have accomplished it. And some of them have come on this show. We had a show where Narelle spoke. Narelle said, and I'm not talking out of turn because she shared it on the show. She shared that she had a negative background. She had a challenge with her family. Her father passed away. She had a situation with substance abuse. There were so many things, but she still accomplished. She still made it. She still is an entrepreneur today. I've shared with you my challenge where I was publicly fired from a major job where I was on the cover of the newspaper and across my face it said fired. So, and I hadn't done anything wrong. People said, well, did you steal money from the Chamber of Commerce? And the answer is no. It's just that the new board of directors came in and decided that they didn't want me to represent them. They wanted their own person. And my mom passed away. It was a challenge for me, and I didn't know how I was going to get up. But due to all of these conferences and tapes and the books that I've read, and I was able to get up. And then I eventually became a coach as well, helping other people to move forward, get unstuck, and accomplish their goals and dreams. So there's so many people. And if you watch our past shows, you know, each week we've had people on who have accomplished dreams despite the odds. I think of Ruthie Bolton, who was on our show in the past, and her thing was she was an Olympic athlete in the area of basketball, but she was being abused, physically abused. And yet she was able to overcome and accomplish great things. So you will too. So as I said, your dreams are possible, whatever your dream or vision or goal is. The first step is deciding what it is, and then that you are going to accomplish it. So, once you've decided on your dream, people say, don't tell anybody. No, tell everybody. Everybody that you think is going to encourage you, everybody that you think is going to give you positive feedback, and everyone that you think is going to hail you as great because now you're on this journey. And people who are going to hold you accountable. And that's where a coach comes in handy, because a coach is the person that will come alongside you and hold you accountable to the things that you say you want to do, the things that you say you want to accomplish. So anybody who's great has a coach. And sometimes they have several coaches. If you talk to an Oprah Winfrey, she has several coaches. And you talk to all of these, Lisa Nichols, she has several coaches. If you talk to many of the people who you think are great and impressive, Bill Clinton, he had Tony Robbins as one of his coaches. You talk to any of the people out there, they will often tell you that they have coaches who have supported them and helped them to accomplish things. The 10X guy, the one who wrote the book, what's his name? Okay, his name escapes me, but he's somebody who's grandiose. He's made a significant amount, and he has a coach. So you should too. And I'm a coach, but it doesn't have to be me. It can also be somebody else who's a coach. But what I want you to do is get one. Okay, get one. Get somebody who's going to help support you to accomplish that dream or vision. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't. That's another thing that kept coming up for me. I told you that I started a business many years ago, and one of the businesses was a networking business. But another business I had was on radio. I did a radio show, a weekly radio show on WVOX, and it was on drive time at 6 o'clock on Friday evenings. And then I was working for an elected official. And every Friday evening, guys, they knew I did a live show. They would always give me something to do at 6 o'clock on Friday so I couldn't get to the studio. So sometimes I was driving in my car racing and I'm on air live. And one time there was a guy in the studio and he totally took over the show. He was just hosting it himself because I wasn't there. So I allowed other people to hinder my journey. I allowed other people at that juncture to prevent me from continuing in a capacity that was actually prospering and doing well. Because as I mentioned, people would often say, well, how do you get these guests? How do you get these speakers? So guys, whoever it is that tells you you can't, just know that that's not the case and know that you can't. So I need you to contact me and share with me or join our mastermind group, because that's why we've created a mastermind group so that you have a place that you can come and talk to us and share your goals, visions, and aspirations, and we can help you to manifest them. And worst case scenario, you have a team, you have a tribe of people who are supporting you in it. Okay, so I want you to make sure you log in to bit.ly, bit.ly/Ask Arlene. Capital A for Ask, capital A for Arlene. So log on and join us because it's all about you. I may be the host here today, but it's not about me. Our goal and everybody that works on our team is here to support you, to help you to become the best version of yourself. And the way to do that is by working diligently on your goal, on your vision, on what you are talented in, the area that you were put on this earth to fulfill. So everybody that's here is here for a reason. Okay, we're all here for a reason. None of us are here just to pass time. All right, and we'll all check out at some juncture. And you want to make sure that while you're here, you make the best use of your time. So like I said, you may have a day job. People say, quit your day job and start that business. No, I'm not saying quit the day job. I'm saying keep the day job and move forward in the business on the off time. I'm saying you don't need a lot of money to invest to start the business. Start today by doing one small piece. Call me up, tell me what the business is, and we'll help you to formulate exactly what it is you need to be doing now to get started. Maybe it's a matter of just filing your articles of incorporation. Okay, maybe that's the first step so that you feel like you have a legitimate business and you're starting by that one step of filing your corporate documents. That may be it. Great. And you need a group of people to support you and applaud you and to tell you that you are on the right track. Okay. And remember too, whatever that is, that goal, that vision, it's usually something that you've always thought about doing. It's usually something that's been sitting in the back of your mind for years and years, and you just haven't done it. So guys, there's a reason why that thing is sitting in the back of your mind and why it keeps coming up. And you see the people on television and you're like, yeah, I would like to do that. Or you are watching the sports game, and you see that person stand up who's doing just what you've always wanted to do. Or maybe it's an invention, but every time you see this thing, oh, this is a great lady. The lady who started the company that does maternity wear. So she was a mom and she had 2 kids. She had a husband and she wanted to look more attractive in her maternity wear. And she didn't feel that the maternity wear that was out there was suitable. So she started her own. She started with just making products for herself. Okay, she was home with her kids and she started putting it together. The right materials, the right textures. And then 7 years later, because for 6 years, she really wasn't profitable in the business. But then shortly thereafter, she saw Meghan Markle wearing her garment when she was pregnant. That's the princess. Yeah. And that's how her products blew up and everybody began wearing her product. The lady who ran Spanx, she said it was a whim. She had a problem. She had a challenge. And for those of you that don't know what Spanx are, the gentlemen, it's the undergarments that women wear to hold in their tummies and their parts to look more attractive and more svelte in their clothing. So that woman, she had a problem and she needed it fixed. And so she created this invention of the Spanx. Okay. And now she's a multi-millionaire. Okay, probably even a billionaire at this juncture. But she just followed her dream. She followed a vision. She followed a thought. So the thing that I want to share with you, another tip, people say, well, it has to be something grandiose, something that only you have done in the world. But there's such things as girdles, but the type that she had, the comfortable Spanx, the material that she used, that was a novelty. And so it hit, it took off. So there's another lady in our group, and she had a vision, she had a goal, and she said, but I'm afraid because I don't think anybody else is going to be interested in what I'm interested in. Guess what, guys? Whatever you're interested in, somebody else has probably already thought of that same thing, but they haven't done it either. So you need to be the one to start it today. You need to be the one to put pen to paper and get started, and we'll help you. Join our group, our mastermind group, bit.ly/Ask Arlene, and or buy the book, Secrets to Overcoming Fear and Getting Unstuck. You can find our book on the website too. Whatever you want to do, there's a way, there's a means, there's a technique to going ahead and getting started. So guys, another thing that people do when they start businesses that's a faux pas, they get into the business starts to grow, you have your first client, and then they run out and buy expensive things. Guys, when you start your business, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, even year 5, and you see that the business is finally picking up, that is not the time to go and buy fancy dresses, cars, houses, and dolls. No, that is the time to invest in your business and continue to invest in the business, product, or endeavor and watch it grow. So let's say it's a book that you've written. Okay? Let's say it's a book that you've written, and now you want to expand it. You need to get it into the hands of the people. You need to market it in the world so that people will know that you've written it. I can't tell you the number of people who've written brilliant books, but nobody knows they exist. So remember, you could be as brilliant and as bright as the world has ever known, but if you're hidden under a rock, we won't know it. You've got to actually get up, come out, and let us know what you do. Let us know why you're here. Okay? So I know we have our day jobs. We might work at Con Edison, or we might work at the daycare, and that may be your vision. That may be what you feel like you're on this earth to do. Great. We celebrate you in it. How can you expand that? Okay? How can you do better at that? So I worked on a job, and it was very, very hard for me because I was doing work that was not hateful work. It was working as a social worker doing truancy prevention. I was helping kids to go to school so that they wouldn't be taken away from their parents and just tossed out into the system. So my job was to help them find out what the problems were, the challenges were that they were having, and help them to resolve them so that they could continue going to school. So it wasn't hateful work, but that's not what I was called to do. So when I went into the people's homes, they didn't want me there. And I was asking them personal questions, and I didn't want to ask them the questions. So the fact that it wasn't hateful work doesn't matter, because I wasn't doing what I felt that I was called to do, and they knew it and I knew it. So if you're doing something that you know you're not called to do, change it. If you're doing something that you are called to do, expand it and be the best at it. Be the best version of yourself. So we're going to be closing up now, and I know I've shared quite a bit, and we have more tips and tools, but I'll share them on the next week. Thank you much. See you next week at 6:30. Bye.